Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live interactive web television. This is your own portal where you can engage with us, talk to us, leave us your comments, write into us your posts about what we talk about. You can also send us your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive. I'm Nilanjana, and of course the festival season has begun. It is the Sehra, Navratra, Durga Puja time, and I'm sure many of you are taking advantage of that. Many of you film buffs to watch two films that are releasing tomorrow, Bang Bang and Heather, and I can tell you that even I'm looking forward to those two films, and we'll try and get you reviews as soon as we can watch it. But what we're going to do today is bring you 4 Hollywood films that are going to be released, that we want to talk about, that we are excited about. And all these 4 films that we're going to bring to you are book adaptations. Now, I will also be talking about them in the order of their release and not in the order of our most or least favorite. Well, that of course I'm going to tell you during the show which is my most favorite. And I would like all of you to get back to me as well and tell me what is your most anticipated film among the 4. Okay, so the first film that we're going to talk about is Dracula Untold. First, let's take a look at the trailer.
My father was a great man. A hero, so they say. Sometimes the world doesn't need another hero. Sometimes what it needs is a monster.
The Sultan is preparing for battle and requires 1,000 boys for his army, including your son.
Welcome to your life.
What is it you are seeking?
I want the power to destroy my enemies and save my family.
Welcome to your life.
All right, well, it said it's releasing this fall, and we can give you the date. It is 10th of October. That's coming up later this month itself, and the film is going to be interesting, it seems, because instead of focusing on Irish novelist Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula, the film creates an original story for its title character, Count Dracula, by portraying the story of Vlad the Impaler, who uses dark powers to protect his family and kingdom. So this action horror film is directed by Gary Shore, and it is his feature film debut. It is written by Matt Zazama and Burke Sharpless. It stars Luke Evans and Sarah Gordon. Now, a lot of reviews have said that this film is the story of a misunderstood husband and father and ruler who in fact turned to the dark side of the noblest intentions. Well, that does seem to be something to watch out for. Let's take a look at some of the facts about the film that might interest you as well to watch it. Take a look, coming up on your screens right now. Things to know about Dracula Untold. Vlad, the protagonist, is based on Vlad the III or Vlad Tepes, which translates into Vlad the Impaler. There won't be any actual impaling, thank goodness for that. You can take your family along. But Vlad's history is portrayed in 2 ways, talking about his dark past. This is Gary Shore's first feature film, like I said a while ago. Besides the vampirism, the film is also being called a father-son story. Like the reviews had said, he seems to be a misunderstood husband and father. Luke Evans, who plays Vlad, wears fangs at times in the movie, but actually has his very own set. All right, so those were some facts about Dracula Untold. Yes, the story that we don't really know anything about. So you will have to wait for the 10th of October to find out what exactly is the story of Count Dracula. Okay, moving on, and this one I can tell you is something that I personally am really looking forward to, and that is Mockingjay. Mockingjay, of course, for those of you who've watched the first 2 parts, is a fiction novel by American author Suzanne Collins. In the last installment of The Hunger Games, following The Hunger Games and Catching Fire, this I'm talking about Mockingjay, the book continues the story of Katniss Everdeen, who agrees to unify the districts of Panem in a rebellion against the tyrannical capital. So let's take a look at the trailer first. The part 1 is scheduled to be released on the 19th of November 2014 in the United States, and it has landed atop Fandango's list of most anticipated films for 2014. Take a look at the very exciting
I
trailer.
never wanted any of this. I never wanted to be in the games. I just wanted to save my sister and keep Peeta alive.
Miss Everdeen, it's the things we love most that destroy us.
I want everyone who's watching to lay down their weapons now.
You're alive.
Peeta is the capital's weapon, the same way you're ours.
You will rescue Peeta at the earliest opportunity, or you will find another Mockingjay.
All right, President Snow there of the capital saying it is the things we love the most that destroy us. How menacing was that? Well, in the trailer, you also, I think, happened to catch Peeta. Now, Katniss is out to save him, but he appears to be sitting with the president. How is that? We have a small teaser to explain that.
Since the dark days, our great nation has known only peace. Ours is an elegant system, conceived to nourish and protect. Your districts are the body. The capital is the beating heart. Your hard work feeds us, and in return, we feed and protect you. But if you resist the system, you starve yourself. If you fight against it, it is you who will bleed. I know you will stand with me, with us, with all of us, together, as one. Panem today, Panem tomorrow, Panem forever.
So what exactly happens to Peeta? That seems to be the main reason why I'm sure you and I will throng the theatres to watch the film. But also, besides, of course, our favourite actors, Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson and Liam Hemsworth, there are some new characters that are being introduced in this film. Characters I'm sure we will all love. Take a look at them. All right, President Alma Coin, played by Julianne Moore. She was the president of District 13 and the leader of the rebellion against the capital by the people of the districts of Panem. While President Snow is still the antagonist of the series, she is hidden, but the true main antagonist of Mockingjay. She was first introduced when Katniss met her in District 13. That's Julianne Moore, Academy Award-winning actor. Okay, then we have Cressida. Cressida, played by Natalie Dormer. You all would have seen her in Game of Thrones, playing the character of Marjorie. Cressida is a resident director from the capital who joined the rebellion along with her camera crew, Castor and Pollux, and her assistant Messala, and headed to District 13 when they fled the capital. Cressida was told by Plutarch Heavensby to follow Katniss throughout her journeys in the rebellion so they could make numerous propos across Panem in order to encourage strength and morale among the rebels. Okay, Boggs, that's Mahershala Ali. He's first introduced as President Coin's right-hand man until Katniss offers to assume the role of the Mockingjay. Boggs then becomes Katniss's protector. And Messala, we had talked about him earlier, played by Evan Ross. He was part of the TV crew that filmed Propos for the war as part of the airtime assault. He was assistant to director Cressida. He was originally from the capital but joined the rebels in the war. Again, Evan Ross was also featured in the Game of Thrones. Pollux, played by Elden Henson. He is a capital cameraman who films Katniss Everdeen in the District 13 Propos. He was also a former Avox and only appears in Mockingjay. Prior to his appearance, Pollux was turned into an Avox or mute by the capital. It is assumed that the reason behind him joining the rebels in District 13 is for revenge. And last but not the least, we have Castor. Castor was from the capital, but he worked as a cameraman who filmed Katniss in the District 13's Propos. He worked alongside his brother Pollux, and he's directed by Cressida and her assistant Messala. So the four of them together form the television crew, and of course we can be quite sure that the television crew filming the District 13 is going to play a very, very important role, and they're going to be trying to spread a positive propaganda as far as Katniss Everdeen is concerned. I can tell you Jennifer Lawrence, especially after Silver Linings Playbook and after The Hustle, she is definitely doing a marvelous job. She's one of my favorite actors, and I'm really looking forward to the Mockingjay Part 1, and I'm sure you all are as well, especially for those of you who have seen the first two installments of the book. All right, moving on to the next one is, of course, something which is everyone's favorite, The Hobbit. Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Now, this film is releasing, during the winter. That is, it's scheduled for release on the 12th of December this year in the United Kingdom and 17th December in the United States. Of course, it stars Martin Freeman, Evangeline Lilly, Luke Evans, and Benedict Cumberbatch. Are you a Cumberbatch? I definitely am. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Home is behind, the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread, through shadow to the edge of night, until the stars are all alight. Mist and shadow, cloud and shade.
Will you have peace or war?
All shall fade.
I will have war.
Wow, all right. Again, another grandiose film, the third and final installment in the three-part film adaptation based on The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. It is preceded by, of course, you would all know that, but I'm still, for those of you who haven't yet watched the first two and, will want to watch that before this one, An Unexpected Journey that was released in 2012 and Desolation of Smaug that was released in 2013. The Hobbit is a fantasy novel and a children's book by Tolkien. The Hobbit follows the quest of home-loving hobbit Bilbo Baggins to win a share of the treasure guarded by the dragon Smaug. Bilbo's journey takes him from light-hearted rural surroundings to a more sinister environment, a territory. The story is told in the form of an episodic quest, and most of the chapters introduce a specific creature or type of creature from Tolkien's Wilderland. All right, so that's as far as the trailer went, that's as far as the basic story goes. Here are some facts about the third and last installment of The Battle of the Five Armies coming up on your screens right now. All right, so there are some 5 facts for you. The Hollywood Reporter called the 3 films a $1 billion gamble. The first 2 cost $315 million each. Stakes are high, rewards potentially huge. Lord of the Rings grossed nearly $3 billion, with 2003's Return of the King winning 11 Oscars. So will this film, do the same magic as well, is what we have to see. Nearly every character in the Desolation of Smaug, with, of course, the exception of the dragon, perhaps needs a wig. So the wig makers made 752 of them. 91 for the film's 13 dwarves alone. The hair, mind you, is not synthetic, but from humans or yaks. Wow, okay. Fact number 3 for you. It took 5 hours to complete hair, makeup, prosthetics and wardrobe for each dwarf. Although there are only 13 dwarfs in the trilogy, it took 165 people, including actors, doubles and stuntmen, to portray them. 13 square is 169, I think. Okay, point number 4. The trilogy was shot on the location in New Zealand with 115 drivers to transport the cast and crew to the 94 sets. The crew sat in a car overlooking the nearby airport to warn when planes took off, so the noise did not interfere with the filming. 2 members of the crew, that was. Okay, and lastly, a remarkable 1,200 extras appear in the trilogy. Last year, an audition for extras took place in Wellington. The casting call proved more popular than was thought. It had to be closed down when more than 3,000 people showed up. All right, so that is as far as it goes. The Hobbit, like I said, is going to be released on the 12th of December in UK and the 17th of December in US. And whenever it is released in the capital, you will all be wearing your coats and your sweaters, and I'm sure you will all be going to watch that film. And last but not the least, 50 Shades of Grey. I don't think I have to say much about it. Take a look at the trailer.
This is just an interview for the newspaper. I just have a couple of questions.
What was he like?
He was polite, intense, smart, really intimidating. Do you have any interests outside of work?
What about you? I'd like to know more about you.
There's really not much to know about me. Look at me.
I am.
To what do you owe your success?
I exercise control in all things, Miss Steele.
It must be really boring.
Got me hoping you save me right now. No.
All right, the trailer wasn't as exciting as I had hoped it would be, you know, judging from what the book is all about. For all those of you who don't know all that much or who chose to ignore the phenomenon that was 50 Shades of Grey, you can't escape it now on IndiaPost Live. It is actually an American erotic romantic drama film. I don't know how romantic one should really call it. The filmmakers are calling it that, and I really don't understand why they're releasing it on Valentine's Day of all days. But anyway, this is directed by Sam Taylor Johnson and on the best-selling novel of the same name by E.L. James. It is the first installment of 50 Shades trilogy that traces the deepening relationship between college graduate Anastasia Steele and a young business magnate, Christian Grey. It is notable for its explicitly erotic scenes featuring elements of sexual practices involving BDSM. For all those of you who don't know what BDSM is, let me educate you. Bondage, dominance, sadism, masochism. That's why I said the trailer did not look exciting at all. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the actors who were considered for the role of Christian Grey. Matt Bomer, Ian Somerhalder, Henry Cavill. They all look so yummy. Well, ultimately, Colin Egglesfield, Robert Pattinson. Oh no, but anyway, that's a very personal comment. Charlie Hunnam. In fact, he was finally, his name was doing the rounds the most when finally, the role was taken over by Dorian. I'm forgetting his name right now. Anyway, okay, let's take a look at some of the facts regarding 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm sure the guy's name will come up. Sorry, I was a bit distracted seeing these 5 very good-looking men. Okay. Beyonce makes a special version of the song Crazy in Love for the film, which is featured in the background of the trailer. Charlie Hunnam was first cast for the role, but it was Jamie Dornan. Yes, I knew it was a Dornan something. Jamie Dornan is the guy who finally gets to play the role of Christian Grey. Dakota Johnson, the daughter of Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith, was cast as Anastasia. She has qualms about her parents watching her play Anastasia in the movie. In fact, her father is completely against it, and her mother said that the family needs to be supportive. Jamie Dornan has dated actress Keira Knightley in the past and was an underwear model before he became an actor. In fact, let me tell you that he was known as the Golden Torso for all his modeling stints. Dakota Johnson went to rehab in 2007. While it was initially alleged to be a substance abuse problem, Johnson has since claimed that it was related to stress. Now, remember, Dakota Johnson's parents divorced just a year after they got married. Melanie Griffith was very young. She was, I think, 19, and Don Johnson was 22 when they met and got married and divorced a year later. Definitely, it would have had some kind of an impact on the child, but she has featured in the Social Network earlier, and this is, of course, a very, very big, a very, very controversial and a very interesting role that she's playing, the role of Anastasia Steele. Let's wish her all the best. I don't know how many of you will feel comfortable. This film is definitely not for family viewing, but if you're a couple or with your friends, I'm sure you can go watch this film on Valentine's Day and find out for yourself whether director Sam Taylor Johnson has done E.L. James justice. Remember, the writer E.L. James was there throughout the filming of the film on the sets. She was there on the sets throughout the filming, and she was there to see how exactly her characters are being brought to life on the screen. So these were the 4 films that we had for you. We had Dracula Untold, Mockingjay, Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies, and 50 Shades of Grey. I have already told you that Mockingjay is the film that I'm looking forward the most to. Please write into us regarding the films that you want to watch, don't want to watch, and why. Send us your posts, your video comments, your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.